What's up, wrestling fans? It is another Friday night, and we are here with you, ready to talk some wrestling. Today, pretty good pay-per-view weekend with SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Survivor Series. Summerfest. Summerfest. That's what we had, Summerfest. Survivor Series War Games this past weekend. Going into another pay-per-view this weekend with NXT Deadline. I don't know if we'll do picks for that one, but we'll at least run down and talk a little bit about the card. And yeah, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, whole lot of awesome stuff this week. So Carl, how the hell are you, man?
I'm all right, man. Just trying to stay warm. It's been cold outside.
Did you enjoy SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Oh man. Awesome stuff there. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off like we do every week with the Randall Band entrance theme.
Gonna have myself. Well, who the hell put this on? So random. For fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake, the Randall Band this week was Boston.
This was one of those bands where I actually knew a lot more than what I thought I would know.
I've said that like the last three bands.
Because, last week I was like, oh, yeah, that's the one that does More Than the Feeling,
Yeah.
But they did a lot more than the Feeling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good stuff. Well, what song did you go with for Boston this week?
I'll let you go first because I got a song and a backup, so just in case.
Okay.
So I don't steal yours.
All right. Well, I picked Party.
Party? Pretty cool, man. You didn't go with my song or my backup, so I'm good. But I'm gonna go with my song is, I think it's technically two songs, but it's like this the first part of the song. It's Foreplay / Long Time.
Okay.
And if you think you ain't heard it, you've heard it. Just listen to it, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's it." But it's a pretty cool entrance.
Awesome. All right. So that's Boston for this week. Who we got for next week?
Next week we have Cage the Elephant.
Cage the Elephant.
Popular early 2000s band.
I know I've heard some songs from them. I just can't remember any of them right now.
Their first big hit was that No Rest for the Wicked.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't no rest for the wicked. Okay. Yeah, that one pops up on my Amazon playlist.
Yeah.
Like when I'm just playing like my soundtrack because it's similar to other music I listen to.
I get you.
All right. Okay. Awesome stuff. All right, so there we go. Random band entrance theme. Boston this week. Cage the Elephant next week. Let's go ahead and hit the ring for the instant replay. New graphic. What? All right. New graphic for the instant replay. I tried to make a video, like a little moving one that looked pretty awesome, but apparently Google Slideshows doesn't like to play any of them.
Son of a bitch.
All right. Well, got some news this week. Well, some little tidbits here. We did have Garrett send us something contributing to the show, even though he's not with us right now. Jesse Ventura, like we speculated when he signed his Legends deal, will in fact be on commentary for Saturday night's main event next weekend.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Then they announced the next Saturday night's main event, which I think is January 25th.
Okay.
I think that's right. I don't have it in my notes, so just trying to go off of memory on that one.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. But yeah, should be good.
Yeah, they just announced it's in San Antonio. Yeah, January 25th. Which is the week before the Royal Rumble.
Week before the Royal Rumble.
Awesome.
Interesting.
So we had that. We also had some news come out regarding the Monday night, the move for Raw to Netflix, which of course will happen on January 6th. Why is my screen keep bugging out on me? So it was announced that Raw is going to remain family friendly. So they're not changing the rating for Monday Night Raw at all, which I know we kind of talked about a little bit before. I didn't think it was going to happen because of the sponsors that they have. Mainly like Mattel and, some other ones that are more like family oriented or, market with like children's products and stuff. So, but they also said, it was also announced too with that same announcement that Raw will air live regardless of the time zone. So if they're doing like Raw from Saudi Arabia, so it'll air live that day from Saudi Arabia at whatever time it is here. So like, it's like because usually the pay-per-views are what, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah.
So Raw would be like at 1 in the afternoon on Monday instead of being being taped and then aired at 8 o'clock Monday night. But Netflix had also said that it will go up on video on demand, so you can watch the replay of it pretty much immediately after the airing. So,
well, yeah, that's the main thing, like being able to rewatch it, like in its entirety, and actually, like be cool too, like you can rewind it while it's on. That'd be great.
I'm excited for the move to Netflix because if you think about it, like you go somewhere, you're staying somewhere, like say you're in a hotel that doesn't get USA for some reason, but you have your Fire Stick and you can throw it into your TV or your laptop or your phone, and you can still watch Raw on your phone or your laptop or whatever through your Netflix subscription. So I'm excited, and I think it's gonna get more eyes. I think there's more people who have Netflix than there are that actually subscribe to cable or satellite right now too. So it should definitely.
Yeah, I'd say that sounds about right.
Looking forward to that on January 6th. Starting January 1st, we have AEW being simulcast on TBS for Dynamite and on Max. So that'll open up a whole new avenue for viewers to watch Max as well, or watch AEW Dynamite, AEW programming anyway on Max, because I'm sure there's more people that subscribe to Max than there are that have cable also. So,
Maxwell Jacob Freeman.
Yeah. So pretty excited. Big things coming for wrestling with finally taking more advantage of the streaming processes for it. I wish AEW's pay-per-views were included with the Max subscription though.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of
like half price. So
it's kind of the way of the future, you know what I mean? Like you either get on a streaming network or die with cable, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Speaking of cable, A&E with their deal with WWE are set to debut a new show titled WWE LFG, which stands for Legends and Future Greats. So this is going to be a competition series in the vein of Tough Enough, where they'll have aspiring pro wrestlers compete for a WWE contract while receiving world-class training and guidance from legends such as Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker. Contestants will also be mentored by Booker T, Mickey James, and Bubba Ray Dudley. Will help them hone their skills both in the ring and behind the scenes. Each week, participants will face off in matches and gain insight into the business side of professional wrestling. So,
I never was really into Tough Enough, so I don't think I really like this.
I'm hoping this is actual, like, independent professional wrestlers that are doing this, because you can't tell me that you're going to have them do a match every week where you have like people that have no training whatsoever going in and doing this like they did with Tough Enough. I'm really hoping it's actually like indie wrestlers that are getting a shot at this. And, you know, a lot of these people that they're pulling for this WWE ID program would be prime candidates for this show.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens there. So new programming from A&E to go into. They got like the biography series, and they're doing like the greatest rivals and that lost treasures thing. So more programming. Can't beat that. So. All right. But that's not what you guys want to hear about anyway. Let's talk Survivor Series. I got some stuff to say. It was kind of a hard pay-per-view to pick as far as predictions go. Because like very few of them were did not come out in the way that we thought they were. Basically, I got you 3-2. So, and mine was the deciding was the Intercontinental title match, the triple threat.
Yeah.
Braun, you picked Ludwig. So. But yeah, let's get into this. Opening match, Women's War Games. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I don't know. It was a War Games match. The participants in it, I don't know. To me, it didn't seem like they were giving it their all or anything like that. It seemed like it was kind of thrown together and no real like purpose or storytelling and like any of it mainly until you get to the end of it. Nia Jax was just horrible. Like, why do we continue to have her on the fucking card in high profile matches?
Chair shots were so bad. Like
her chair shots were so bad. You could hear Bailey fucking telling her, calling the match, like telling her what to do. It was just, I don't know. This weird.
There's some other off spots in that match too from other wrestlers, but most of them were minor things and weren't really as noticeable as Nia telling Naomi to put her head down so she could hit her with a chair, or missing punches, or for using steps and stuff like that. It's just there's just a lot of missteps. Like I don't know. Like I can't be a fan of Nia Jax anymore. They're just.
It's like she doesn't. Like, she doesn't even try. Like
I know. It's like some days you see her, like you'll see something and it'll be like a good match, like, but it all depends on her opponent. But you get like a glimmer of hope that she's gonna, that she's improving, and then you get like 6 steps backwards. So it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. I thought Tiffany should have cashed in. Like that would have like probably saved the match. Like if she would have done that.
Yep.
And then the finish. I mean, do we really have to have Rhea Ripley win again? And then what does it say about your champions that both your champions are on the losing end of the fucking team? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say Io Sky never disappoints in these matches. I don't care how many times I see her dive off of something with a garbage can over her head. I'm still going to be impressed and in awe shock of it. So
Yeah, her and Tiffany Stratton was pretty good.
yeah,
Um,
they were.
to be honest, I'd rather
see
see. To be honest, like I would rather like just cut the women's war game match and just have like Tiffany Stratton versus Io Sky match.
Sky.
But the press conference was really good though. I don't know if you watched that at all, but
the after show.
Yeah, the after show.
I did not. I saw the clip with the idiot from Meltzer's website. He was talking about the Liv having Raquel out at ringside, and if Io was gonna have anybody out there to back her up, and he was like, "I'm a member of Damage Control."
Yeah. Another funny spot that she had was like I asked her like how she did her move, and she's like, "Yeah, I just put the trash can over my head. It's really dark."
I trust the trash cans. These people, like, at least the AEW press conferences, these idiots give better questions. Like, those are some of the dumbest questions ever. And that guy from Meltzer's, from the Wrestling Observer newsletter website, dude, if I was a Meltzer, I'd be embarrassed to even have that guy representing me asking a dumbass question like that.
Well, I mean, Meltzer himself isn't better. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible or anything like that, but it wasn't like memorable or anything like that. Like,
holy shit. New WWE Tag Team Champions. DIY just defeated the Motor City Machine Guns.
Cool.
DIY. I thought they were going to split. I thought Tommaso was turning heel, but apparently they turned them both.
It's been happening.
Gargano hit the low blow on Shelley and then super kicked him. And then they hit the meet in the middle. Picked up the win. All right. Interesting. Okay. Back to War Games. Oh, man. Yeah. So the women's War Games match I didn't think was as good as last year's. And I think it had a lot to do with some of the participants in this one.
Or as good as any of them.
Yes. But the United States Championship match, LA Knight and Shinsuke,
was really good.
Really good. And I thought we were going to get another Shinsuke loss on this one, but Shinsuke walked out as the new U.S. champ.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for that.
Me personally, like, I probably would have preferred like a deeper storyline, especially with like a title change. But it was a wrestler that deserves it, so it's not like too bad. But it's one of those things, where we call out AEW a lot of times for not having storylines, and like the first two opening match of the pay-per-view kind of seem like, stuff that was kind of thrown together real quick.
I can say going into SmackDown tonight, with the stuff that they had in ring with LA Knight and Shinsuke, at least they are building a story off of this. AEW would have just dropped the shit and said, okay, so-and-so's new champion now. So that's where it's gonna go. But at least they're doing something, and they're adding Andrade back into the mix on this as well. Hopefully they'll add Carmelo Hayes back in there too, so we get like the 4 of them going after that U.S. title.
Yeah.
Some interesting matches. Yeah, but this match was great, and I'm glad Nakamura won. Honestly,
Yeah.
As much as I love LA Knight, I love Shinsuke more. And I think it's a well-deserved, like you said, a well-deserved win for Shinsuke. Hopefully this means they'll start putting them in more stuff and actually using them better. And probably the match of the night, the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, I just really can't pick a match that was better than this one, honestly. Besides, Gunther and Priest was pretty good too, but
the men's War Games match was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. But yeah, but Braun Breaker ended up retaining the Intercontinental title on this one. A lot of awesome stuff in this match. His Breaker's clothesline from the apron, knocking both Kaiser and Sheamus over the announce table.
Yeah, real good showing from all 3 guys.
I mean, it's pretty much what you expected to. It was a nice, hard-hitting matchup with the 3 guys that are involved in this. Really, going into the Netflix era, I think leaving the Intercontinental title on Breaker was a good idea. Like, he's picking up a lot of steam. He's one of those guys that can work a heel. He can work a face. He's kind of like been more in between recently on this second run for the Intercontinental with his second IC title run. But even when you look at someone like Kaiser, like Kaiser's one of these fast rising guys too, who's great in the ring, has great mic skills, but oozes with charisma when he comes out. Like, he's someone that command your attention on the screen. The same with Breaker. And then, Sheamus isn't a slouch either. Sheamus is awesome. So,
yeah.
I mean, you got these 3 guys that just go in there and beat the shit out of each other, which is great. Make that title even more prestigious.
Yeah.
And then we get into the World Heavyweight Championship match with Gunther and Damian Priest. And I did say last week Finn was probably going to get involved. Yep,
he did.
Apparently Finn's just not done with Priest. Priest apparently was done with Finn, but Finn wasn't done with Priest. And now Finn's got some issues with Gunther, which will get Finn and Gunther at Saturday night's main event for the world title. Those should be pretty good. I'm going to go on a limb and say Priest gets involved and costs Finn the title.
Yeah.
But this match was pretty good too. I mean, it really wasn't that much of a difference from this match to the previous match that these 2 had. So pretty much knew what we were getting into with that one. But as far as storytelling, we kind of hit the peak on the card for this with the men's War Games match. I don't know. This match was great. So much stuff in this matchup. Freaking Bronson Reed trying to hit that tsunami on Roman. Punk making the save and pulling Roman off the table. Jimmy hitting the splash off the top of the cage. Ended up breaking his toe.
Yeah.
A lot of great
stuff. Even the fucking entrances, and then just like the start of the match, kind of the animosity between Roman and Punk in the cage, kind of had Sami Zayn in
Oh, yeah.
there, kind of awkwardly leaving to the ring. This from like head to toe, it seemed like they kind of ironed out. I don't know if they even ironed out every detail or just professionals being professionals. Like it's like I don't know. It's like there are multiple stories being told at the same time.
Yeah.
Each team knowing how to put each other over in certain aspects of the match. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
No selling when there's a time for no selling, and then selling when there's definitely a time to be selling. Because hell, the person I thought had the biggest injury was fine. He was just selling his injury really good, you know.
Oh, Jacob and his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and then even after the match, like it builds the story even more. You know, because everybody's trying to figure out what the favor is that Paul Heyman knows CM Punk.
Yep. Punk told him, he's like, when it comes up, he's like, I'm gonna call for that favor, and like you're gonna give it to me.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's gonna end up being. I think Roman's gonna end up getting the title back, and it's gonna and Punk's gonna cash in that favor to get that title shot with Roman.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where if we learn anything from last year, we can't really predict too much.
Yeah.
The only thing I could think of that they could do besides Punk and Roman, and a lot of people think it may happen is a lot of people think WrestleMania that we might get Punk and Cena one last time.
I would love that, honestly. Punk and Cena, those two really brought out the best in each other in those matches.
Yeah. I mean, and we still haven't got Punk and Seth, and everybody's wanting Punk and Seth. So,
yep.
And this is,
we'll get
as you know, this is what we're saying is like this whole storyline, and then how it was able to kind of interweave other aspects of the story and stuff like that, different stories off of this one thing it's been pretty amazing.
It's just great overall. Like it was kind of like going into this, it's like where does Punk fit into this? So we're getting Bronson Reed in this match, but we're not getting Seth Rollins to continue that build. But I guess we're pretty much done with Bronson and Rollins. Like,
I mean, now. So, Bronson ain't gonna be able to wrestle for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're done for a pretty good minute. We'll see when Bronson gets back, but
man, it's gonna be rough. But yeah, it's like the guy. Like, can we talk about Tama Tonga in that cage? Like when he got in the ring first. Like
that's what I was talking about. The entrances, like
freaking climbing around the cage like he's playing Super Mario World.
Yeah.
So, it was awesome. Tama Tonga is freaking awesome. Oh.
Yeah, man, he's great.
Oh man, that was a good pay-per-view. Yeah, so looking forward to NXT Deadline this weekend as well. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but we come off of War Games into Monday Night Raw. A lot of shit going down on Raw. Whew. Let's get into it here. Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Punk comes out to the ring, gets interrupted by Rollins. Those two start going at it verbally, and then physically they start going at it. They get separated by everyone. Sami Zayn comes out and tries to break it up. Then Rollins just starts going in on Sammy, talking
Mhm.
about like everything that Roman did to you, the Bloodline did to you, that Jay did to you, that Jimmy did to you, like all this shit. And he's like, you go crawling back to him. He's like, you're not even blood. And
Yeah.
like they're just going in, and which ended up leading to Sammy and Rollins in the main event on Raw, which was a hell of a main event.
Because
Which
Jay got
prompted
attacked.
yeah, Jay got laid out prior to the match, and Sammy just assumed it was Rollins. Wasn't Rollins. It had the return of Drew McIntyre. So Drew comes in and lays out Sammy, and it's pretty much given that Drew's the one that attacked Jay. So
Yeah. Which I'm down for it. And that's what I was saying, like of intertwining like all the stories. Like, you know,
yep.
you kind of got all of the stuff because now you have history with McIntyre and Punk. You have the whole Seth Rollins and McIntyre. You have all this kind of boiling over.
And then Punk
Good
told
times.
Rollins. Punk pretty much told Rollins, he's like, I don't even think about you. He's like, when I got here, you had something I wanted. Now you don't. So I have no reason to deal with you.
Yeah.
And then Rollins just went in on Punk. So I think we're going to get that sooner than later. I'd probably Rumble, maybe.
I would hope.
No, I would say.
I think they probably want them in Rumble, though. That's the only thing.
That's what I'm thinking. Now that I say that, like they'll probably be in the Rumble, and we'll probably get something between the two of them in the Rumble, which will lead to WrestleMania between Punk and Rollins. Like that's,
yeah.
I think that's going to be the WrestleMania
if that's what
match for those two.
If that's what we get, we don't know.
Yeah. As long as nobody gets injured or anything, and it just seems like it's definitely a Big Four pay-per-view. It's not a an Elimination Chamber or Saturday night's main event type match. This is definitely something that people are gonna, regardless, people are gonna tune in to see it. But like, this is where you want this in front of like one of your bigger crowds. So.
Yeah. I got to step away just 1 second.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Okay. Right. So Carl will be back. So we're going to talk about, I don't know, we're going to keep going here with Rollins and Punk. Like I said, I think it's going to be a WrestleMania match. It needs to be in front of a huge crowd. Definitely one of the Big Four pay-per-views. Like these two, I was like, we say all the time on here that the best matches and the best storylines come from take instances from real life. And these two legitimately do not like each other. So that's going to give like a great match and good storyline out of this. So.
And the Bloodline really is all family. It's like, it's imitate reality.
Awesome stuff there. We kicked off the Intercontinental Championship Tournament, Women's Championship Tournament. Dakota Kai picked up the win in that first triple threat match and is advancing to that on that. It's kind of odd because I don't think they're doing this at Saturday night's main event. I think this is going out a little farther than that.
Oh, is it?
I think so, because they only did one triple threat match for this.
Maybe it's Rumble then.
Might be. Let me see.
Or maybe Raw on Raw's first episode of Netflix, maybe.
Yeah. Let's see. No, that's not right because it's So the only matches they have like fully announced on here are Cody versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship, Gunther versus Finn for the World Championship, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Plus, we have the finals for the Women's United States tournament. Okay, so no IC title on here at all. So I guess this is going to go a little farther out.
All right.
So I definitely agree with that. The Netflix debut should definitely be the finish for that tournament. What am I looking at here? Go back to this. Yeah, so Dakota Kai advances in that tournament. We had Gunther and Finn. Gunther basically in the ring. Gunther and Dominic Mysterio have their match after Finn's trying to go a match out of Gunther earlier. And he tells them you couldn't even beat Damian Priest, but Dominic has, so maybe I'll give him a match instead. So Dominic gets his match, and Gunther ends up beating Dominic. Then Finn comes out and goes in on Gunther. Then Finn finally gets his demand for a title match for Saturday night's main event. Why have we got all these Raw guys on here? Chad Gable's wrestling Cody.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we had that. We talked about the return of Drew McIntyre. But one of the biggest things on Raw was the New Day anniversary. Oh, what are your thoughts on that?
So I did kind of call Kofi going heel, right? I was like, oh, the stuff he's doing is kind of heelish. I didn't know that they would turn them both together.
I didn't see that coming either. I thought they were going to split just indefinitely, or at least like I said, Big E come in and try to be the manager, manage them for a little bit, but then they eventually split after still not being able to get the momentum or whatever, and finally just get sick of each other. But yeah, the double heel turn was just perfect.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I saw a lot of people's posts, and a lot of people are sad, upset. I think it was easier for me because I never was a huge fan of A New Day.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest complaints about them was their persona, and because I thought I thought they all three were decent wrestlers. I just thought that their gimmick was a little too over the top, a little too cartoonish. So I'm interested to see what this group kind of looks like, because wrestling as a face and wrestling as a heel is different.
Yeah.
But I think it's much needed for Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. I think a shift to something more serious would do them so good, because it kind of plateaued, and then 3 or 4 years from now, I'm pretty sure they'll come out with some pancakes or some bootios or something.
Oh yeah,
get the band back together. So.
Yeah, because everybody loves it when they rejoin, or whatever.
But I think it's much needed, and I'm more interested in the two than I have been in the last 2 years with like their storyline and what they had going on. Because last time you were interested in the New Day match, it was like they versus the Usos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the Usos kind of split up, so it's like, what do you do with them now? Let's turn them heel. I'd actually like to see the tag team division kind of get more coverage here, like in the next like few months and stuff, and let's get like tag team wrestling back on like pay-per-views and stuff.
Absolutely. But that's like my thing though too, is like how many heel tag teams are actually on the Raw roster? Because the only ones I can think of right now are the Judgment Day and American Made.
Yeah.
Like the Creed brothers. That's it. Those are the only ones I can think of, because the War Raiders aren't heels. You have Otis and Tozawa. Authors of Pain. Forgot about them. But they're kind of tied up in the Wyatt Six stuff. But like even that's only like three heel tag teams, 4 that I can think of off the top of my head, just for that. So having the New Day turn heel, I think, adds to that element too. But like I love the New Day. Like the whole Bootios, the pancakes, unicorn horns, like all that stuff. Like I know you said they're a little too cartoony, but like one of my favorite wrestlers is a fucking Hurricane. So for me, like I love this stuff. And watching this, like I wasn't crying watching this and watching them go in on Big E. I loved it. Like it was probably one of the best damn promos that we have gotten from Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods in a long ass time. And just the reaction that Big E had when they were going in on him, and like they're like, dude, you chose your girlfriend over coming back and helping us. Like you chose this over us. Like we only kept this up so you had something familiar to come back to. He's like, but we don't need you anymore. Like you're holding us back from reaching our full potential now. And it's just going in on that and like hitting those points. And it's like, oh my God. So and just to see them like turn their back on Big E completely, it just like it was a good moment in history, a good moment in wrestling, because that's what you remember are the moments. So it's not like hardcore fans, we remember the matches and the finishes and things like that, but these kids that are growing up watching this, you're gonna be like, man, I remember that time with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods like turning their backs on Big E. Like it's like to them that's like our Hogan dropping the leg on Macho Man and joining the NWO. Something similar to that aspect of it. Probably not that grand of a scheme of things, but like to some 6-year-old kid that might be their equivalent to it.
Yeah,
since we'll never get Cena turning heel. Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
He was heel, man. What are you talking about?
I'm excited to see where they're going with us now. Where they go with the New Day? Are they still going to be the New Day? Are they changing the name? Like, what's going to happen? So, I'm excited. Oh man, awesome stuff this week on Raw. NXT this week. I did watch NXT. NXT was great. We're getting Lola Vice and Jada Parker in an NXT Underground match at Deadline this weekend. Jada Parker, like I think she is one of my new favorites, or at least up there in like top 10 of women's wrestlers right now, like current women's wrestlers. That just her going in, trying to get like the refs to take the ropes down and stuff, and I know she dropped an N-word in there too. It's just no matter how many times I see that clip, like you can hear it. So, but the passion that she had in her voice and the conviction that she had in selling her anger with Lola Vice for costing her that shot in the Iron Survivor match at Deadline, like it convinced me, and I want to see this match. Like I love Lola Vice. I wasn't a big fan of Jada Parker. Like I thought she was good in the ring, but seeing her now after that promo, it's like shit. I want to see this match. So I'm sold on this one. And as Ren from No Quarter Catch Crew was the one that picked up the win in that Iron Survivor. Since Lola went to clock Jada ducked. She hit Ren. Ren fell backwards onto the other girl in the match, got the pin. As she was knocked out, and as Lola was pulling Jada out of the ring. So just dumb luck on that. So, but it was pretty awesome. No Quarter Catch Crew still kept up the winning ways as they won the tag team battle royal, so they'll get a tag title shot against Axiom and Nathan Frazier at Deadline. Nathan Frazier is also in the Iron Survivor match, so it looks like he's too focused on that one. So I think we're going to get No Quarter Catch Crew as new tag team champions at Deadline.
I hope.
Ridge Holland. Yeah, Ridge Holland laid out Trick Williams with a nasty DDT on the announcers table in their segment with Eric Bischoff. That looked bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure Trick is fine, but that the way they did that DDT and everything, the table did not break at all. It looked vicious.
Who do you think wins that match?
That one, that's for the NXT title. I think Trick's going to retain on that one.
I think so.
They're building Trick up pretty well. So.
Yeah.
And then Gigi Dolan returned to action, getting the win. I can't remember who she wrestled, but it's just great to see Gigi Dolan back. So.
Yeah.
So NXT was pretty solid this week going into Deadline. AEW had some pretty interesting stuff on here, which was surprising this week anyway. Jay White beats Pac in their match for the Continental Classic. After Wheeler Yuta tried to take out Jay White during the match, hitting that running knee on him. Jay was able to still pull out the Blade Runner on Pac and get the 3. It's the fucking Wheeler Yuta tried to jump Jay White after the match and got a Blade Runner for his troubles, which brought out. Was that this match? I'm trying to remember if this was this match or not. Yeah, it was this matchup. It had Moxley ended up coming out like the rest of the Death Riders came out and ended up beating them down, and then Hangman Adam Page came out, and then what the fuck else came out after that? Orange Cassidy came out and started choking Moxley with a camera cord.
Oh, God.
He was disguised as a cameraman. So that was actually pretty good. Anna Jay calls out Mercedes Moné, so it's like she's next in line for the TBS title. Claudio defeated Brody King in his matchup, in their matchup for the Continental Classic tournament. And the Dirty Dozen Battle Royal, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly were the final 2 in that match. So they will face off next week at AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming, and the winner will face MJF at World's End.
Winter is coming
for the Diamond Ring. Like AEW wasn't bad. There's just like there was a couple good matches on there. Like Jay White and Pac was pretty good. Claudio and Brody King was really good as well.
I mean, they normally have good matches.
Yeah. Actually, there's very few stories to go along with these matches, which is just kind of weird. But Ring of Honor this week, though, Matt Cardona showed up answering Chris Jericho's challenge for the Ring of Honor World Championship. As Jericho wanted someone from New York to defend the title against at Ring of Honor's pay-per-view. I think it's this weekend, next weekend. I can't remember exactly which weekend it is. But Oh,
Matt Cardona.
we'll see where that goes. But we're talking. I skipped over NXT Deadline. So Deadline this Saturday. The card for this actually looks pretty good. Like I said, we got Lola Vice and Jada Parker in the NXT Underground match. Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus No Quarter Catch Crew for the tag titles. Trick Williams versus Ridge for the NXT Championship. Women's Iron Survivor to determine number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship at New Year's Evil is Sol Ruka, Stephanie Vakir, Zarya, Julia, and Ren Sinclair. And then the Men's Iron Survivor for number one contender is Wesley, Javon Evans, Nathan Frazier, Ethan Page, and Eddie Thorpe, which Eddie Thorpe got laid out on NXT this week. So we're not sure who jumped Eddie Thorpe.
It was Drew McIntyre.
He showed up on NXT taking people out.
Fucking taking out everybody.
There's been some dirt sheet rumors that is possibly going to lead to the debut of Hikuleo or Tala Tonga.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
See where that ends up on there. So there we go. NXT Deadline. Turning Point was last weekend as well. I don't think we really talked too much about this, but Rosemary defeated Savannah Evans and Zaya Brookside in a three-way match. Mike Santana defeated Frankie Kazarian. Joe Hendry defeated Brian Myers, Eric Young, Hammerstone, John Schuyler, and Rhino in the six-way Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl match. Myers was pinned, so he had to wear the turkey suit. Moose retained the X Division Championship against Laredo Kid. Steve Macklin defeated Josh Alexander. The Hardys and Ace Austin defeated Kushida, Zachary Wentz, and Matt Riddle, making his debut. I know we talked about that last week. Masha Slamovich retained the title against Jordan Grace in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And Nick Nemeth retained the TNA World Championship match against Eddie Edwards, which I think saw Bradshaw hit the ring on that one too.
Yeah.
He hit the clothesline from hell on Eddie Edwards. So, a lot of good stuff this weekend for wrestling. Last week, this week. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got for this week in wrestling. I don't really have anything else. Oh, whew. Wow, it's been a long week. Let's see. I did not grab an Elite Figure of the Week this week, so we will go ahead and skip that one this week. But let's get into our new segment, the Fatal 4-Way. Basically, Fatal 4-Way, I'm going to put up 4 people from the wrestling business, the wrestling industry, whether it be tag teams, singles wrestlers, managers, companies, anything wrestling related. And basically, we pick one and their history, pick one for their history to be completely erased from wrestling history. So this week, I set it up for some managers, some pretty iconic managers in the wrestling business. Paul Heyman, or Paulie Dangerously, Jimmy Hart, Captain Lou Albano, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. So who's getting the axe?
Who's getting the axe today? So they're all 4 kind of older. Older. If it's me personally, I probably will have to delete Lou Albano.
that was Captain Lou was my pick on this one too. When looking at these, just considering the amount of, I guess top tier talent that has come out of, like under Paulie Dangerously, Jimmy Hart, Bobby the Brain Heenan, like some of the guys that they managed. Captain Lou, most famously, like the Head Shrinkers are really like the only two that I associate him with as a manager. But he's still like one of the greatest managers out there. So, but also if it wasn't for Captain Lou, we wouldn't have had like a lot of the rock and wrestling era too. So, because he was the main connection between that. So.
Yeah, out of all the people on the list, like Bobby Heenan's probably like number one.
Yeah.
Just as a manager, personality. I mean, he's a heel, but he was a very good heel. Jimmy Hart, another one that was kind of he's kind of both. He was heel and face through different eras.
Yeah,
his tenure with WWF and WCW. And then Paulie, another one of those guys on WCW, USWA, managed a lot of good young guys like Stunning Steve Austin,
Medusa. The whole Dangerous Alliance. Awesome stuff. I was gonna throw in like I was looking at managers. I almost put a Sensational Sherry in here, but it's like
Sensational Sherry would have made it tougher. I probably would have kicked out Paulie if you put Sensational Sherry in there.
But I was looking at, I was like, all right, like I can do her in this, but I was thinking about it. I was like, well, what about other, other female managers and stuff in it too, like Miss Elizabeth and like Moolah and like all these other women's managers that I was like, I'll save it for that. So,
I get you.
Awesome stuff. So there is the Fatal 4-Way. So unfortunately, Captain Lou got the
no Slick Rick.
No Slick Rick. I went with like I purposely. I basically looked up like I googled like top like 10 wrestling managers of all time, and these were like in the top 5. Top 5 or top 6. So like Sonny Ono and Slick weren't on the list.
What?
Sonny, yeah, not in that list. I did find a top 25 that had Slick and Sonny Ono on there.
Oh, fucking
in the top 15.
Who they have as like their fucking tops? Like somebody stupid.
Bobby Heenan was number 1.
Bobby Heenan, I could agree there.
Yeah. Bobby Heenan was number 1. I think both these lists, Heenan was 1, Jimmy Hart was 2. Paul Heyman was 3.
Oh, Cornette.
4, so
Cornette was
on there. Yep. So Cornette was in the top 5. So. But I know for a fact on both those lists, Heenan was 1, Jimmy Hart was 2.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so there is the Fatal 4-Way. So let's go ahead and head over to No Holds Barred, of course, which is brought to you by our Redbubble store. Check out redbubble.com/people/WrestleGannonPod. And you get up to 60% off right now off the Redbubble store. So go ahead and head over there and check that out and buy some shirts, some stickers, and all that fun stuff. No Holds Barred this week. I did not put anything in here, but if you haven't seen it yet, Beetlejuice. It Max this week, actually today. So that's
how'd you like it?
Viewing pleasure. I have not watched it yet.
No.
is on the list for this weekend to watch.
I watched Deadpool Wolverine last weekend. It was pretty good.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Well done.
No complaints about that movie. But speaking of movie complaints, have you seen the TikTok video going around with the Christian woman that left Moana 2 with her like 4-year-old or whatever because of the demonic images and dark imagery in the movie?
Was it a parody or was it real?
That the one that I saw was real, and then I saw a bunch of parodies which were freaking hilarious.
Because there's a lady that did a parody for like the Wicked movie when it was released. Like, hey parents, don't go see this movie, and it was like on her thing. It was like hashtag parody, but nobody really got it, and so there's like a bunch of people responding to her. And I'm like, man, that cannot get jokes at all on the internet, but yeah, I thought it was pretty
this
funny.
woman was just being outright ignorant, racist. So like the whole, because like then like the clips that they're the parts of the movie that she's talking about, like someone, I guess put in the clips that she was referring to when she was talking about her like dark and demonic images, and like it's not anything different that was in the first Moana movie. So I don't understand. Like, basically, you're just racist against Polynesian people and ignorant to their culture and what they believe and stuff. Though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I guess, if you're like, in the eyes of Christianity, paganism, and pop culture. I mean, Thor, Zeus,
But the
Hercules.
messed up thing with Christianity is the majority of the stuff that is celebrated in Christianity has pagan roots. So
Yeah,
like I don't understand it, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought.
I mean, a lot of the fairy tales and stuff too.
Moana.
But yeah.
Well, even then, like you look at Disney's Cinderella, and then like you go back and you read the original Cinderella story. Like the stepsisters were shaving their feet, like skin off their feet, cutting off their toes just to fit inside that slipper, inside that shoe.
Yeah.
So, and like none of that was really put into, the Disney cartoon, but there was a couple, I think a couple live action movies where like one of the stepsisters like busted her toe just to fit it into the shoe. And it's just like so much stuff that's out there. Like people don't really know how dark a lot of these stories are, but you're talking about how
poison apples are witchcraft, right? So
like you're talking about like demonic and dark images in Moana too, but did you not watch The Lion King? Like, did you not watch Mufasa get killed right in front of our eyes? Like, his own brother throwing him off the ledge? Like, come on. Like, don't get me started. Freaking Up? Like, Jesus. Bambi? Freaking mother was shot.
South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. They actually had a devil in that one.
What was the other one? The Land Before Time? Like poor Littlefoot? Like his mom just dies? Like, Jesus. Like, this is stuff that we were raised on, that we watch, and you sitting there with your kids now. Oh, there's too many dark and demonic images. Jeez. Freaking people, I tell you.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just funny at times. What else we got? You know, I'm surprised there's not any uproar over this Dear Santa movie. Like compared to the
Dear Santa
movie. Yeah, it's a new Jack Black movie. It's on Peacock or Paramount. I don't remember which one it is. Apparently the kid writes a letter to Santa and gets the letters mixed up and ends up sending the letter to Satan.
Oh, okay.
So Jack Black, who plays like a lower level demon, poses as Satan because he gets the letter and is trying to, you know, get the kid's soul. But I'm sure there's like a feel good like twist thing at the end where he becomes like a good happy demon. I guess I don't know.
Or an angel. God is an angel.
Do that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for No Holds Barred this week. I don't really have anything else.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Actually, I do got one more thing. We're talking about Wicked. We talked a few weeks ago about the whole issue with the Wicked toys with the wrong website on the bottom. Yeah, apparently some soccer mom decided to file a class action lawsuit against Mattel over print on a box that takes you to the porn website that her kids probably never even saw or read or whatever. So, it's like, oh my God, like, come on, really? Like, you mean to tell me your kid sat there and looked at the bottom of her Glinda the Good Witch doll from Wicked and typed in wicked.com on the computer?
Maybe. Never know with kids nowadays, Chris.
Well, if they're anything like my kids, when they get a toy, they just rip the damn box open and don't read shit. So, oh yeah, all right. That's all I had. That was the last of it there. I don't really have anything else this week. Survivor Series and SummerSlam. SummerSlam this last weekend.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, awesome stuff. All right. Anything else to talk about? It's been a long week. So just wait for the holidays to get over. So go back to normal life. We'll be back with you next week. The following week is Christmas week. We'll actually be taking the week off for that one. I will be in New York. I don't feel like dragging my studio stuff with me. So we'll be back with you next week. We'll talk about some NXT Deadline. We'll talk Saturday night's main event that following Saturday. All that fun stuff. Well, actually, no.
No, we won't talk about. That'd be on the one that we missed.
No, I'll have that next one because I leave Saturday the 21st. So the 20th we'll be back. The week after.
Oh, it's Christmas.
Yeah. The week after is Christmas. So we won't be here that week, which is like the 26th? 7th? What is that Friday? I have no idea. And my calendar doesn't want to open up here. So whatever, that Friday after Christmas. So we'll be back with you the week after. Oh, awesome. But yeah, make sure you follow us on all our social media outlets. WrestleGeddon Pod pretty much on everything, or hit the link tree in the episode description or anywhere else. Make sure you are subscribed to us on Facebook and on YouTube so you know when we're live, which is pretty much around the same time every Friday, anywhere around 9-ish o'clock. That's going to do it for us. On behalf of myself, Chris the Heat Matthews, the Tennessee Jesus, Carl Crossland, this is episode 263 of your WrestleGeddon podcast. We'll check in with you next week. Later, Marks.